Coming up on 5 Minute News. Biden administration restarts Title 42 to expel Venezuelan migrants. Fighting flares in Ukraine's Donetsk region. And Gates Foundation pledges $1.2 billion to fight global polio. It's Monday, October 17. I'm Anthony Davis. With increasing numbers of Venezuelans arriving at the US-Mexico border as the November 8 election nears, Joe Biden has invoked a Trump-era rule known as Title 42, which Biden's own Justice Department is fighting in court to deny Venezuelans fleeing their crisis-torn country the chance to request asylum at the border. The rule, first invoked by Trump in 2020, uses emergency public health authority to allow the United States to keep migrants from seeking asylum at the border based on the need to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Under the new Biden administration policy, Venezuelans who walk or swim across America's southern border will be expelled, and any Venezuelan who illegally enters Mexico or Panama will be ineligible to come to the United States. But as many as 24,000 Venezuelans will be accepted at U.S. airports, similar to how Ukrainians have been admitted since Russia's invasion in February. Mexico has insisted that the U.S. admit one Venezuelan on humanitarian parole for each Venezuelan it expels to Mexico. Biden's new policy has drawn swift criticism from immigrant advocates, many of them quick to point out the Trump parallels. The administration says the policy is aimed at ensuring a lawful and orderly way for Venezuelans to enter the U.S. Intense fighting between Russian and Ukrainian forces was taking place around two towns in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine, Bakhmut and Soledar, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Sunday. Fighting has been particularly intense this weekend in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, which make up the larger industrial Donbass and the strategically important Kherson province in the south. They constitute three of the four provinces Putin fraudulently proclaimed as part of Russia last month, moves dismissed by Ukraine and its Western allies as illegitimate. Russian forces shelled Ukrainian positions on several fronts on Sunday, the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces said, with the targets including towns in Kharkiv, Donetsk and Kherson regions. Russia also said it was continuing airstrikes on military and energy targets in Ukraine using long-range precision-guided weapons. Anti-aircraft units intercepted most of the attacks, but there were two explosions near the airport. 3 people were injured, it said. Shelling by Ukrainian forces damaged the administration building in the city Donetsk, capital of the Donetsk region, according to the head of its Russian-backed administration on Sunday. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation said it will commit $1.2 billion to the effort to end polio worldwide. The money will be used to help implement the Global Polio Eradication Initiative strategy through 2026. The initiative is trying to end the polio virus in Pakistan and Afghanistan, the last two endemic countries, the foundation said in a statement yesterday. The money will also be used to stop outbreaks of new variants of the virus. The announcement was made at the World Health Summit in Berlin. The foundation said in a statement on its website that it's contributed nearly $5 billion to the Polio Eradication Initiative. The initiative is trying to integrate polio campaigns into broader health services, while it scales up use of the novel oral polio vaccine type 2. The group also is working to make national health systems stronger, so countries are better prepared for future health threats, the statement said. Pakistan has reported 20 polio cases so far this year, all in northwestern provinces. Afghanistan previously lacked access to vaccines because of violence and the Taliban banning polio teams in areas under its control. However, last year, a few months after they took over Afghanistan, the Taliban agreed to allow United Nations health workers to begin a national campaign. Pakistan has long struggled with Islamic militants targeting polio workers and the police protecting them, falsely claiming that vaccinations are a Western campaign to sterilize children. This year, it has the added challenge of unprecedented rainfall destroying road networks and health facilities, limiting vaccination drives, and displacing communities. Despite the billions of dollars that have gone into the effort to eradicate polio since 1988, the program costs about $1 billion every year. The World Health Organization and partners have missed repeated deadlines to wipe out the disease and have come under sustained criticism for failing to adapt to challenges. In recent years, there have been more cases of polio linked to the oral vaccine used in eradication efforts than those caused by the wild virus. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.